On May 19th, 2023, Dead by Daylight held their 7th year anniversary broadcast. The livestream revealed many new giant things coming to the game, things that turned out to be amazing in the long run. They announced bots replacing survivors who disconnected. They announced the anti-face camp changes, the end transmission chapter, and goddamn Nicolas Cage. Oh my god, that was 3 years ago. Oh, it's so over, I'm cooked. But for me, there was something that was announced that was far more exciting than anything else. At the 7th year broadcast, Dead by Daylight announced that they would be bringing in cosmetic collections based on the Metal Titans Iron Maiden and Slipknot. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I am an absolute, heavy metal fanatic. I listen to all of it. Thrash metal, classic metal, new metal, whatever that genre even means, by the way. Power metal, death metal, sludge metal, progressive metal, doom metal, all of it. So you can guess that I was through the roof when I saw this announcement. I counted down the months until that first band collection finally came. It took 9 months, almost a year, but oh my god, when that Iron Maiden collection dropped, it hit me like a buzzball to a homeless man.
Give me back on, give me back on, give me back on. Okay, go get that buzzball, yeah!
Oh my god. The Iron Maiden collection came out on February 22nd, 2024, and it rocked, no pun intended. It came with 4 insanely detailed legendary skins based on the different depictions of the band's mascot, Eddie. We got a Samurai Eddie skin for Oni, based on their most recent album as of this video, Senjutsu. Pharaoh Eddie was a skin based on the album Power Slave for the Doctor. Stranger Eddie was released for the Deathslinger, based on their single Stranger in a Strange Land. God, I love this skin. Deathslinger was also my main at the time, so the stars really aligned for me on this one. This skin has the most aura in the collection, by the way. I mean, look at this dude. I also saw this particular song live, which was fucking awesome. I felt like I was ascending. It was actually so amazing. They're all nearing 80 years old and geriatric as hell, but goddamn, those seniors can put on a show. But you know what? That's besides the point, though. You don't care what concert I like. I don't know. I cream my britches in. Whatever. Finally, there was Eddie's tribute for the Dredge. Oh my god, the skin is unreal. As the name sort of implies, it's just an amalgamation of different references to the band's history. One of the Dredge's best skins for sure. Each original survivor also got an Iron Maiden Entities Realm Tour t-shirt, which was just a very great cherry on top of an already amazing collection. These skins all come with a unique lobby theme, which is Iron Maiden's song Fear of the Dark, one of Maiden's best songs, by the way, sorry not sorry. This collection was an absolute banger and an absolute success. I still see these skins a ton to this day, and honestly, I have more games where one of the survivors are wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt than without, and you can see why. They absolutely smashed it, and they really couldn't have done any better with this collection. Since then, the survivors who came out after the initial drop of this collection received t-shirts, and we just got a sequel to this collection with the Facemelter Eddie skin for Huntress, which came with an insane lullaby of just some dude absolutely shredding on guitar. This skin is absolutely amazing. It's actually my new favorite skin in the game. But this collection as a whole is just my favorite ever dropped, and I haven't taken the skins off since. I don't plan to anytime soon. Only a month later, on March 26th, 2024, Slipknot followed their predecessors into the fog. While it wasn't nearly as insane as Maiden's collection, it was still pretty cool. There was only one full skin, which is the Subliminal Menace for Frank from the Legion. It's based on Sid Wilson, the band's DJ's look during their We Are Not Your Kind era. Hillbilly has sort of a half skin due to the way his cosmetics work, and you can make a pretty cool mock-up Slipknot skin. Then, there are various masks for Clown, Wraith, Doctor, Deathslinger, Trapper, and the Blight based off the different members of the band. Any of these cosmetics play the Dying song in the lobby, which is one of the better songs from their most recent album, The End So Far. I like it, although I do have some complaints with this collection. First of all, I think no t-shirts for survivors is super lame, and I would have definitely bought them if there were. But that's probably with the license holders, I'm sure. Also, just a personal thing, the looks they chose from Slipknot are from one of my least favorite eras of the band, but I'm not going to say they're not cool looking. Lastly, not really a complaint, but an observation, Smite had its own collab with Slipknot a few years earlier, And while Smite and Dead by Daylight are two completely incomparable games, I do think that Smite's collab was way cooler. They had more full skins and crazy unique features. We definitely need a part 2 of this collab. I want to see the jumpsuits. Overall, the Slipknot collection just didn't hit as hard as I hoped it would, but that's fine. To be fair, the developers did initially state that the collection would only be masks, because it would be really lame if they were to hype up a band collab just to drop a couple t-shirts, a singular mask, and I don't know, like a half-eaten granola bar, right? The Ice 9 Kills collection was released on June 16th, 2026, featuring a couple t-shirts, a single mask, and a half-eaten granola bar. Alongside this collection, Ice 9 Kills released a song based on Dead by Daylight called Play Dead. The song is music.
What the fuck?
Little side note, when they revealed the song at the 10th anniversary broadcast, the level of like quietness in the crowd compared to other announcement is so funny, bro.
Odie Hawk? Oh my god, yeah, so make sure to...
I'm sorry, I'm being a hater. If you're an Ice 9 Kills fan watching this video, I totally respect you. You like what you like, you should be proud of it. Their music just isn't my thing, and I'm not a fan of their antics either. And no, their use of generative AI in their merch marketing and their lame-ass fake apology being part of their, quote, narrative is not a good excuse, and they still suck for doing that. Sorry. Anyways, this collection sucks. No, seriously, it's terrible. It came with 6 shirts and 2 hoodies, which, by the way, 2 of the shirts are for Jeff and Kate, who got the 2 hoodies. So why would they also get shirts instead of giving 2 shirts to other survivors? Better yet, why not have all the survivors have shirts? This collection just doesn't make any sense. There's also a singular mask for the Legion called the Silence. And like, what the hell even is it? The Silence, like, who is the Silence? It's not even a character, it's just a mask for a teenager. I genuinely feel bad for the Ice 9 Kills fans excited for this collection because they got robbed. On top of this, little fun fact about this collection, there's actually more items in the actual real-life merch store than cosmetics in the game. I think that really says a lot about the band, doesn't it? This collection is a dud.
A dud.
These 2.5 collections have laid the groundwork for more band collaborations in the future, and it really makes you wonder, what bands are going to come into the fog next? It's bound to happen soon enough. Well, I'm happy to say that is what we will be discussing in this video. I'm going to look at a bunch of different bands and see if they would be a good fit for the Entity's realm. But we're going to make it fun. We're going to do a tier list. I know you like tier lists. Are you excited for the tier list, dearest viewer? Now, when listing the bands, it's not going to be in any particular order. It's going to be in completely random order, so you'll never see what's coming next. It'll be like you're actually in a mosh pit. Really trying to get you immersed here. Now, before we delve in, allow me to explain the tiers. At the top, we have the toughest fluff tier, which is for the absolute bangers that would be insane if they were added. Then, we have would be a great fit. This is for collabs that would be awesome, just not quite on the level as the ones above it. Could be nice is the next tier, and as the name implies, these bands would be nice, but I'm not exactly begging for them. Enough Fluff is sort of the middle of the pack. It could go either way and I wouldn't feel any different. Not sure it would work is for bands I just don't feel would fit in the game, even if I really like the bands. Finally, Rough as Fluff is for bands that I do not want. I don't like these bands, and seeing them in this game would give me a severe cortisol spike. For reference, Iron Maiden would be in Tough as Fluff, and Slipknot would probably be a great fit, but with how the collection actually turned out, I'll throw it in could be nice, so you get the idea of what I mean. And yeah, I think I included everything. Yeah, not missing anything. Perfect, looking good. But first, let's lay some ground rules real quick. First off, it's only going to be relatively mainstream bands that actually have a chance of coming into the game. So sorry to all the blood-splattered babies fans, but you guys won't be making it into this tier list. Also, this list is not going to consider Survivor t-shirts. Any band t-shirts for survivors would be totally welcome to the game in my opinion, so it would be kind of redundant to talk about them because then every band would be great. This list is only taking into considerations unique killer and survivor cosmetics. Most importantly, however, this is my opinion, and it's not a big deal. So there's no reason to be mean to me or each other in the comments, but if you disagree, let me know why down below. In a nice, calm manner, of course. Now, this intro's been long enough. I'm fucking ready. Let's see what we're working with here. Black Sabbath, the first band that comes to mind when you think of metal. They founded the genre and they changed the music industry forever. The frontman of this band, the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, has been given the name the Godfather of Metal, and rightfully so.
Someone has been in my room and taken my beers away from my room.
If any band deserves recognition, it's them. Not to mention, there are dark themes and imagery littered throughout Sabbath's music and Ozzy's extensive solo career that would fit into Dead by Daylight like a glove. Off the top of my head, think about if they did a War Pig skin, where maybe it's a skin for the Death Slinger, where it's a disgusting zombified pig in military gear. I mean, they could do so much cool stuff. So thematically, it's a home run. However, Ozzy recently passed away. Rest in peace, legend. I love this band and I love Ozzy so much, I would love any collaboration they did. But whenever I think about the possibility of this collaboration, I can't help but wonder if it's the right thing to do. Ozzy is no longer here, and with that, would it be okay to use his likeness or what he had a hand in creating? I'm honestly not really sure. I mean, look at what Fortnite did to Juice WRLD. They sold a Juice WRLD takeover bundle for almost, I think, $30, almost 5 years after he died. It's just so dystopian to basically digitally revive someone and sell it for money. It puts a sour taste in my mouth, and it's just gross, honestly. And while I don't think a Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne collection would just straight up use Osbourne's likeness or his face, I still don't think it's the best move for behavior to make. Especially after what Ozzy's family plans to do with him after his death, I don't really think that the rights holders to his name have the best intentions. For this reason, I'm going to put Black Sabbath / Ozzy in enough fluff, just because I'm unsure of what direction to take and we'll kind of just keep it in the middle to be safe. I'm also going to put Dio and Typo Negative in this tier for the same reasons. Rest in peace Dio, and rest in peace Peter Steele. Perhaps I'm overthinking it, but I think maybe the best way to honor these bands' legacies would be to just leave them be. Gonna keep this one brief. I don't like Disturbed. David Draymond is a piece of shit. Here's a picture of him signing IDF bombs used to blow up hospitals. Rough as fluff. Much better. Mastodon is so cool. I'm actually seeing them later this year at Sick New World in Texas, and they are the #1 band I want to see out of that lineup. I'm so excited. They not only have some of the most unique and amazing metal around, they also have some amazing imagery that could make for some of the most cool and interesting cosmetics we have in the game. I think you could take the Emperor of Sand straight from the album cover and turn him into the only night skin I'd ever use again in my life. I mean, the helmet alone is so cool. Also, the deer hybrid creature on Blood Mountain could be such a cool skin. I'm thinking either for the Wraith or the Unknown, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Unknown. I mean, this one just writes itself. It'd be so creepy to see this twisted deer creature with blood pouring out of its stomach, with multiple heads and those giant antlers just wobbling after you. Ugh. There's also plenty of creatures from this album that I'm sure could be turned into sick cosmetics, even though we don't have an official looks for them and they're just in the lyrics. I'm thinking like the Birchmen, the Hunters of the Sky, and the Sisquatch, just to name a few. There's even more though. Mastodon is dropping a new album this year, Marrow Deep, and I think the woman on the cover could be translated to maybe the Hag or the Plague, which would be pretty cool. You know, the album just came out, good publicity, good marketing. But by far, my most wanted skin from a theoretical Mastodon collection would be a Leviathan skin. Teabag, you might be thinking, you are fucking stupid. How do you put that big ass whale into his skin? Well, I mean, geez, you didn't have to be so mean about it, but I'll explain. Imagine a dredge skin, where the head is Moby Dick popping out, the whale is Moby Dick, by the way, and maybe like broken pieces of the ship or the sail could be its arms, and then some sort of water effect along with the fog. And maybe that monument or temple at the top could be on its back or something. Something like that. Wow. What a masterpiece I've created.
Can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece?
This album is one of my favorite cover arts of all time, and I would kill to get some representation of it in the game. Blood and Thunder is the menu theme, by the way. Mastodon is tough as fluff, baby. Slayer is the first thrash band on this list, and I promise you it won't be the last. Thrash metal is my absolute favorite genre, and Slayer definitely plays a role in that. While they're not my favorite band by any means, they definitely have some bangers. War Ensemble is definitely my favorite song, but I also, I know it's basic, but that Raining Blood riff is, just tickles my brain, but that's besides the point. However, I'm not sure if they'd be the best fit for the game. Sure, they are very thematically dark, but all of their imagery is very satanic and a mockery of Christianity. Regardless of how you feel about this, Behavior would never put this into their game, and without those visuals, it's not Slayer. I also think it's important to be respectful to all walks of life in this community, and people would no doubt be offended by their inclusion, so we should probably respect that. Although, I'm sure maybe something cool could be done for the band. With all this in mind, I'm gonna put Slayer in the could be nice tier. Fear Factory is an awesome industrial metal band. I will be honest, I'm not super familiar with this band. I've only listened to Demanufacture in full, but maybe making this video will inspire me to listen to them more. Skins made for them could bring the industrial horror vibe into the game that we desperately need. We do not have a lot of it. It's one of my favorite types of horror. The only thing we have that is industrial horror in the game is the Silent Hill chapter, and I believe that's about it. I love Silent Hill. A cool skin concept I came up with is the idea of a legendary Krasu skin, where it's some sort of rusted cyborg as the body, and her head form is the brain from the Obsolete album, which attacks with its metal spine. But there's plenty of other stuff you can do. I mean, just look at all this sick art. Fear Factory, I'm gonna throw it into the would be a great fit tier. Mushroom Head is so cool. If you've never listened to them, please listen to 13. Please. After this video, of course, I need you to stay for engagement purposes.
I'm not done with you.
You can't keep me here.
Don't you know you're my favorite? Don't you know that I care about you?
They did the whole large band wearing masks years before Slipknot did it. And with just this information, you'd think I'd be putting this at the top of the list. Well, it's a little complicated. Mushroom Head's been around for a long time, and it's now one of those bands where a good chunk of the original members are just not in the band anymore. There's not even any original vocalists. If it was the original lineup, it would be so great. But they looked like this, and now they look like this. And it's just not the band I've known. No hate or anything, I still like them, but it's just not the same. I don't really think I'd be thrilled with what a modern Mushroom Head collection could look like. Not sure it would work. What do I even say? I mean, just look at these guys. These guys should be in the realm just tearing up survivors. Tough as fluff. I love Gojira. From Mars to Sirius is a top 3 album of all time for me. While I love them so much, I literally cannot express it. I can't really think of anything they could put into the game for Gojira. Nothing screams killer to me. Maybe if we're feeling bold, we could put the armor of the Indigenous Warrior on the Fortitude cover onto a Survivor, but considering it is supposed to represent Indigenous people, I'm not sure if that would be appropriate. And especially if they gave it to, I don't know, fucking Ace Visconti. I also absolutely love the flying whales and their artwork. If you can't tell, I'll automatically love an album if it has a whale on it. Bands watching, take notes. However, unlike Leviathan, I don't really think it would fit on the Dredge too well. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get some cosmic horror killer that would be the perfect candidate for some flying whale skin. Or just throw the shit on Jaws when they add him. But since I personally can't come up with much, we'll call it enough fluff. Before I say what I'm about to say, I just want to say that I like their music, so just keep that in mind. Bad Omens. I just think that they are kind of boring. Their look is very sterile, which is fine. Not every band has to be Slipknot. I'm looking at you. But when it comes to throwing them in the game, there's not really much to do that would be interesting. And it would probably end up looking a lot like the last collab we got. So with that being said, not sure it would work. Mudvayne, these guys are absolutely classic. These dudes have had some pretty crazy looks that I can definitely see transferring well into the game. For example, I could definitely picture Chad Gray's face paint on the Trapper. Also, I just wanted to take this time to show off my awesome Mudvayne inspired fit for David King based off the Lost and Found album, where the kid took bull steroids and was pushing 45. I think a Mudvayne collection could be nice. You love them, I love them. Let's talk about Deftones and Dead by Daylight. Well, there's really not much to talk about, is there? There's like nothing to make a collection for this band other than, I guess, shirts for survivors. Put H-Tree in the Around the Fur bikini. Yeah, I'm not sure this one would work. But I hate that it seems Motionless in White is another one of those bands where I'm not super familiar with them, but I've heard some of it, and I really like what I did here. I also have a friend who really likes this band, so if you're watching, you know who you are, and this one is for you, fam. Again, I'm not too knowledgeable about the band, so I'm sure that other people can come up with way cooler ideas, but even at face value, I definitely can see some cool possibilities. If I'm not mistaken, this band is kind of similar to Ice Nine Kills in the sense where they seem to have a lot of horror elements in their music, so thematically we're already off to a good start. First off, I could definitely see the outfit the lady on the Reincarnate album is wearing on maybe Kate Denson or another survivor. I'd also like to note that I like the Bingus in this photo. But seriously, how cool would a disguise skin be for the Unknown? Imagine if it took off the mask in a unique lobby animation or Mori or something like that. This is definitely a candidate for the scariest skin on this list, and I would be very pleased if it got added into the game. Also, their new album, Decades, the cover is pretty freaky looking, but I'm not sure if I can show it on YouTube because it is a little bit gory, but I'm sure that the devs could do something with it. I actually am going to throw Motionless in White into the tough as fluff tier. Tool is just one of the best metal bands of all time. Straight up, every single member in that band has an extreme level of talent. But that's not what this video is about. It's about if these bands fit into Dead by Daylight. So does Tool stand? I'd say yes. Though, the devs would have to get pretty creative. Which for Tool, I think they can afford because this collection would definitely sell very well. That rhymed. Tool has some crazy artwork that I'm sure can be turned into something insane that we haven't seen before in the game, but I can't really think of how to logically apply it. Sorry folks, this one is above my pay grade. However, I can definitely pull some ideas from their music video. The little guy from the Sober Music claymation video could be a good skin for the Trapper or Legion. Also, that creature in the walls of that same video could be put on something, I'm sure. However, I feel like this whole music video could be combined into a really freaky deaky Dredge skin. And please, if they were to do this, they would have to keep the clay texture from the actual clay models, because think of how sick that would be. Also, this creature from the Schism music video is very uncanny. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. Probably another unknown skin. He's very popular in this video, isn't he? In the Vicarious music video, I have no fucking idea what's happening, but goddamn, that guitar riff is hard. Make it a skin. Seriously though, I think that a skin based on the Lateralis album cover, where the being depicted is the Singularity, would be sick. I feel like this cover is supposed to represent the body and mind in peak form, and Singularity does believe itself to be the perfect life form. I think there would need to be a lot of animation work put into it to make this skin idea work, but I'll tell you what, I'd spend $20 on it. I do love Tool, but a lot of these ideas are sort of shots in the dark, and I'm not really sure if any of them would actually work outside my brain, even though they sound really cool. However, if they were to make these ideas work, I think Tool could be a great fit. I wanted to throw some death metal into this list, and I think Rivers of Nile could have some potential. The man on the cover of Where Owls Know My Name could be maybe a legendary gender swap skin for the Hag, but where the real juice is at is with their new self-titled album. We do have a Divine Angel Killer coming with the next chapter, and they're gonna need a Seraphim skin at some point. Please, Behavior, I need a Seraphim skin. Although there's not really much else to take, and I'm not super into this idea, I'll just throw it into enough fluff, because there could be some cool out of it. This band sucks. I want nothing to do with these whiny babies in this game. I'm gonna put their lead singer's mugshot into Rough as Fluff.
I've given
I know earlier we talked about how I was going to step back from bands who lost their frontmen earlier in the video. Chester, you are missed. But Linkin Park does have a new lead singer with Emily Armstrong. But I'm gonna be real, it's just not the same, and they should have never continued this band. I'm sorry if you like the new Linkin Park, but it's just not for me, I guess. Regardless of all this, there aren't really any killer cosmetics you could pull from this band, but I could definitely see some cool Survivor fits, but I just don't see the point in doing it. I wouldn't hate it, though. I'm just not sure this one would work. Rob Zombie is actually very unique on this list because I think he should be his own Survivor. I think just like Nicolas Cage, it would be hilarious, but also very fitting for the game. He's had plenty of looks throughout his career that would make for great cosmetics. I'm sure there could be some fun perk designs with him. I don't know, I just think it would be really fun. On top of this, I've seen a lot of talk online about a Rob Zombie collab with DBD, so I know the community would be happy with this. Robert Zombie would be a smash hit. Tough as fluff. Sleep Token. The band where their fans treat their concerts more like film directors than concert goers. I'm gonna be real, I don't like their music. It just doesn't click with me. Don't tell any Sleep Token fans though, please.
I've got solar blast me or dead god, space dust for your fuel.
Sleep Token is what I like to call Imagine Dragons metal, which consists of very clean and auto-tuney vocals with 7-string guitars tuned down 700 steps so that every note is so deep every single riff sounds exactly the same. This is like the bread and butter for most modern bands. It's for people who don't really want to listen to metal but want to say that they listen to it. It's so boring to me. Honestly, I'd also say that Bad Omens is close to Imagine Dragons metal, and I feel like if I heard Sleep Token first, I'd listen to them and not Bad Omens, because once you've heard one Imagine Dragon band, you've heard them all. Now, I know I'm being harsh, but with Sleep Token at least, I do think they're the best in this category, and I do see the appeal to this band, and I can totally understand and respect why people would like them. And when it comes to DBD, I actually think a Sleep Token collection could be really good. These book talk villains genuinely look pretty cool, and I could see Vessel as a neat killer skin. Not sure for who though, I don't really know the lore behind this band, but I know there's lore and apparently it's pretty cool. Other than that, I don't really know much about them, but I'm sure this could be a solid collection. Sleep Token would be a great fit. Now, I wanted to take this time to address a certain band, one not even worth its own segment. Attentive viewers may have noticed me taking a shot at them earlier. President. This shit is corporate industry plant garbage. No authentic band gets a major festival slot without even having a full album out. Give me a fucking break. It's an imagine dragging these nuts on your face band, trying to ride the coattails of the hype surrounding Sleep Token, who try and sing about political topics but yet have nothing to say about them. They're not the only masked band doing this, and they won't be the last. You'll see a lot more of these clones popping up in the future. Rough as fluff. Avenged Sevenfold has a pretty damn good catalog. Hail to the King is definitely my favorite album from them, but oh my god, they annoy the shit out of me because they could be so much better if they didn't constantly put ridiculous sounding auto-tune or vocal effects every like 3 songs. But it's fine, whatever. Avenged Sevenfold has like the most, I don't know, like edgy 2000s like art. It's really funny. You know, with the super cool, awesome skeletons, and they're all holding guns and shit. But I genuinely mean this in the best way possible. I think it's awesome. Nightmare, or Life is But a Dream, could easily be a great cosmetic for the nurse. The skeleton riding the horse in City of Evil would also be really good. I would say put that skin on the knight, but this guy looks a little too agile for our game's bulky knight, so I think Wraith may be the best option for this one. And oh man, I would love a skin based on the Hail to the King single art. Oh my god, it's so sick. Also, that iconic skull with the bat wings would make a great charm, just straight up. We don't really have any band charms, so that would be nice. I think this could be a great fit. Meshuggah, gotta love them. They were doing soy jacks before they were cool. If you know this band, the most obvious pick for the best cosmetic would be the figure from Obzin. The man in it is very creepy and uncanny looking, and it would be super interesting, super freaky. I'm just not quite sure what killer should get this skin. The Unknown feels like an obvious choice, but I don't think so. The figure is too calm, meanwhile the Unknown is very sporadic, so I just think it would clash thematically. But Obzin isn't the only good idea from this band. I feel like a Legion skin based on Immutable would be one of the killer's most crazy looking skins. I mean, this one already has the knife too, so it's already, all the work's already been done. Also, talking about the idea for the Avenged Sevenfold charm really has me on a bit of a charm shebang. A little bit of alliteration there, did you like that? So, a Chaos Sphere charm would be awesome. Overall though, I just wouldn't really be too hyped about this one, but it could definitely be nice. Death is, in my opinion, the greatest death metal band of all time. Symbolic is not only one of the greatest death metal albums, but overall one of the greatest albums ever. I've been so excited to talk about this band. Death was the first death metal band. Oh my god, that's like a fucking tongue twister. Death was the first death metal band founded by who is now known as the godfather of death metal, Chuck Schuldiner. Oh my fucking god, he's dead. Yeah, so lucky me, while I was reading off the script for this video, I figured out that Chuck passed away in 2001. I had this whole segment. I had a spiritual healing skin for Ace Visconti. I had a really cool leper skin. I was either going to be for Trapper or something. I think it was going to be for Trapper. I was going to talk about a symbolic skin for the Judgment, the new killer, where the head is like the eye on the album cover. It was going to be tough as fluff, but I guess by default, because of my rule, I have to put it in a fluff since he's passed away. So, damn, man. Shit. What is up, teabag lovers? We are live. I made a last-minute decision to kind of go back on my rule about, dead founding members. I realized that if it's done tastefully and respectfully and through the right people, it doesn't disrespect the people who passed away. I think in examples like Juice WRLD and how they're putting Tupac in Stranger Than Heaven, that's disrespectful, but this wouldn't be like that, especially if they're not using their face. So I'll go back. So Black Sabbath / Ozzy Osbourne, I'm going to put it in tough as fluff easily. If anyone deserves to be in it, it's them. Dio, I have a couple cool ideas. I would put them in would be a great fit. Typo Negative, I'm going to keep there. Yeah, I'm going to keep Typo Negative in enough fluff. Just because, kind of like Gojira, these bands around it. I don't really have many ideas, but I do think thematically the band, has a sort of a dark theme. I think it would work if they come up with something. Fun fact, my my OC for this channel, my persona, his name is Steele, after Peter Steele. He's based off the band. It's the Black and Green. He's based off this band, so I fucking love this band. I owe them a lot. So, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna keep it in Tough as Fluff. But yes, I'm going back on it. I'm a dirty hypocrite. Make fun of me in the comments. It's okay. Throw tomatoes at me and shit. It's fine. I know. I get it. So with this in mind, Death is going into Tough as Fluff. Rest in peace, Chuck. My Chemical Romance, at least for me, is pretty simple. An entire collection based around the Black Parade would be so flippin' dippin' awesome. There's also a huge chunk of this community that loves MCR, and rightfully so. Nice and easy, My Chemical Romance is Tough as Fluff. Oh yeah, my favorite thrash band of all time, Megadeth, one of the big four of thrash along with Anthrax, Slayer, and of course Metallica, are one of the most technically talented bands of all time. And I'm gonna spoil something real quick. Megadeth is going high up on this tier list. Why, you might ask? Well, that's because similar to Iron Maiden, Megadeth has a mascot. Vic Rattlehead is Megadeth's mascot, and he has had many appearances throughout the band's lifespan that can be translated perfectly in the DVD. Here's a few ideas for you. Vic's appearance in either The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead, or So Far So Good So What, could go straight on the Death Slinger. Vic, with his nice dapper suit on Rust in Peace, could make for a really cool Trickster skin. Little note, I know they wouldn't do this, but it would be cool if the knives could glow green like the crystal he holds on the cover. His look on Dystopia, God, this album cover is so sick, would be great on the Doctor. Imagine if they gave him a unique blood wipe animation with his katana. How cool would that be? But by far, my coolest idea for a skin, and probably could potentially be my favorite skin idea on this whole entire album, other than maybe my beautiful masterpiece, of course, would be from their final album, self-titled. Throw this on any killer. Imagine a visceral skin where half of his body is actively on fire. God, this skin would have so much aura. I'm crying tears of awe just thinking about it with that white suit, and you can see him just burning. Oh, it'd be so sick. Megadeth is Tough as Fluff. I'm not even sure how I can uniquely introduce bands anymore at this point, because every segment I seem to just start with, I love this band. But I genuinely really do love this band. I guess I'm just full of so much joy and whimsy to spread. But anyways, Sepultura is one of these bands I love. However, sort of similar to Mushroomhead, this band has kind of become a shadow of its former self. There are 0 original members from when the band first initiated, which is kind of nuts. I don't dislike the band now, but the band is still pretty good now, and most bands would dream to have any of their albums in their catalog. But, you know, once Max and Igor were gone, the band was just never the same. Regardless, I really want an Arise skin for Judgment. This would be so cool. Oh my god. Obviously, the creature would have to be shrunk down because, like, look at this thing, it's huge. But holy, would it be so sick. I don't know, man. Just give me as much thrash metal as possible. Sepultura could work if they stuck with its roots. No pun intended. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Castle Rat is the youngest band on this list, debuting in 2024. And now let me tell you what, they've been on absolute fire, and I can definitely see why. I had heard about them but never really delved into their music, but I managed to catch them live at a festival recently, and it was incredible. Not only is it pretty awesome doom metal, but they have such a unique and awesome look and gimmick, it's so fun. I love the medieval fantasy look they have going. I'm an absolute sucker for fantasy. I mean, I play Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, just look at my mains. Vecna Knight and Springtrap. Castle Rat would fit really great in this game. They could definitely turn most of their outfits into Survivor skins, and then make the Grim Reaper lady a skin for the artist. You've had enough skins, but I guess you can have this one too. I think a Castle Rat collection could be a lot of fun, and it's always good to support up-and-coming bands. Would be a great fit. Speaking of up-and-coming bands, let's talk about a small band from Los Angeles, California, Metallica. Oh, wait, they're the most listened to band in the world. Well, Behavior, you'll definitely be getting your money's worth on this one. I fucking love Metallica, who doesn't? They're one of the last bands on my bucket list I haven't seen. It's kinda tough to, though, when the ticket prices look like this. I mean, fuck, Lars, you're sucking me dry here.
Lars is gay, but the gayest is Jay.
Since we're on the topic of burning money away, let's talk about what cosmetics a Metallica collection could bring into Dead by Daylight. Now, from just looking at the albums, there's not a whole lot, but there's some things we can take. Now, from just looking at the albums, there's not a whole lot, but there's definitely some things we can take from. Even though Saint Anger is one of the most ear-grating albums I've ever heard, this really is some kind of monster. Also, wouldn't a Hardwired to Self-Destruct Skin for the Unknown be awesome, where, you know, like all the band members' faces are screaming and shit? Talk about metal. This would be awesome. I feel like a skin of the statue from Injustice for All would be super sick, sort of like a Weeping Angel type thing. But where the real goodies lie is in Metallica's tour art. There's a lot of really sick and dark designs that could be inserted right into the game, and I'm sure there's some original designs that Metallica and Behavior could work on as well. While it wouldn't be the most insane band collaboration on this list, it would definitely be a great fit. I love System of a Down. I mean, just look at me. However, like Deftones, there isn't really anything that can be put into the game related to this band. They should make Surge like a killer or something. Not sure this one would work, unfortunately. This is it. We've made it to the last band. I wanted to save the best for last. The last band on this list is the German power metal band Powerwolf. Ever since I first saw the Iron Maiden and Slipknot collab announcements on that anniversary stream, I knew that Powerwolf needed to come to the game one day. Powerwolf is my absolute favorite band of all time for years. If they were to only add one more band collab ever again, make it this one. And maybe Megadeth, I'd really appreciate. Powerwolf has my favorite visuals of any band. You know, there's definitely no correlation or anything. They would look so damn good in this game. Just like Iron Maiden and Megadeth, Powerwolf has their own mascot, Varkalok. His many different looks can just be put straight into the game with no changes, and I'll tell you what, Behavior, that $100 Orexcel pack would look real juicy.
I need it!
Any of these appearances would look great in the game. Blessed and Possessed, Call of the Wild, Blood of the Saints, Wildlife. Any of the appearances would look good in the game. My personal favorite appearance is his new look on Wake Up the Wicked because he is clad the fuck out in drip. A collection for this band would genuinely be a dream come true, more honestly, almost more than any chapter they could do, for me at least. I don't care what killer it goes on, they would become my main. Fingers crossed that one day this will happen, and if there's any Powerwolf fans watching right now, pat yourselves on the back, you're cooler than everyone else watching. By the way, special shout out to Yarwick on the DBD forums, who I found while researching for this video to see what people wanted. You are an absolute G. Keep fighting the good fight. Powerwolf is going straight to the top of the toughest fluff tier. Godspeed, you furries. And with that, here is the tier list in its full juicy glory. By the way, for the Ice 9 Kills fans, I know I've been teasing you all video, but I can promise you it's all love. I did move their tier above Rough as Fluff because there's not a chance as hell they're worse than any of those shitters under them. It's very top heavy, but I think that's a good thing. It's good to be positive. Everyone should be a little more positive. There were plenty of bands that I wanted to talk about that I wasn't able to fit in. Korn, Cradle of Filth, Raven Age, Killswitch Engage, just to name a few. But I didn't realize how carried away I got. I meant for this to be like a 20-minute video because editing the 50-minute Black Banquet video was brutal. And what do you know? Speaking of the Black Banquet video, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for the support. I literally just did it for fun and expected it to get like 13 views, and at the time of recording, it's now sitting at 833 views, and I genuinely can't even believe it. I know it may not sound like a lot, but hey, humble beginnings. I also want to take this time to apologize if the editing for this video or the last one comes off as a bit clunky in some places. I'm still very new to this and still finding my style. I can promise you next video will not be as long and be much quicker to edit, for the sake of my sanity. It's going to be a lore video. God, I'm so hyped. And then I believe by the time I'm done with that video that the PTB for Chorus of Sin will be out. And you can bet your tail I'm going to have a lot to say about that. I am very excited. Anyways, this video has taken long enough. Thank you so much for making it through. And hey, I am a new creator, so I would really appreciate your support. So show me some love. Have an amazing day.